welcome to the program. This is What's Your Story? A Happy New Year yet again. I know we're in the second week, but it's still a fresh, new, young, beautiful year. Hoping you've had some beautiful days before today. And my guest today, so remember last week we just set off on this journey where if you're looking to have some more adventure in your life, and if you're looking to be more fit, maybe have different perspectives in life, then you met the girls. This week, my guest is a success enabler. So our shows this January are intentional to help you set the pace or set the tone for the rest of the year. My name is Catherine Mwangi. My guest today is Miss Shalini Gadia. Welcome to the show, girl.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah? You look really good.
Thank you. Yeah. Likewise. As vibrant as ever.
Yeah, thanks. So, I always like telling people how I meet people. So in Shalini's case, we met on Facebook. So I'm always telling you people, reach out on Facebook, let's have a conversation. So we met on Facebook, connected on there, and ended up having a cup of latte. She wanted dawa. I'm like, who has dawa in her? Like, why do you wake me up to bring me to a restaurant to do dawa? like seriously, can we flow? Can we align in this thing? So we ended up, having a latte and a great, great conversation. And I'll be letting you know why that was great. But anyway, she's ended up here. How are you?
I am great, Catherine.
Yeah.
I'm super duper excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think when we met, I think we just aligned.
Totally.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what brought me here.
Yeah.
Because yes, I did connect with you, but when I said that when I saw you sitting and I was approaching you, I just felt this whole good vibe, and I think we just automatically aligned. And I wasn't really expecting that. So I think good things come unexpected. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. And you always attract the essence of who you are.
Absolutely.
I know you're sounding really deep. Let me tell you where this started. So watching Shalini's videos when we connected on Facebook, and I saw that she is a certified consultant with the Bob Proctor Institute, like the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Now, my journey with the whole alignment, awareness, attraction, vibration thing, let me call it a thing, but she's a pro, she'll give us the right words for it, started in May last year when I got a coach and he taught me about the law of attraction. And so I've been attracting people into my experience, pole too, like this, because we're not that many. So when I saw that, she had done a quote by Bob Proctor, and I said, what did I say on your post? He's legend.
Said that is legendary.
Yes.
And that just caught my attention. So straight away, I knew that Catherine knew exactly what I was doing. Yeah. Because I think in Kenya, it's not a very common thing for a person to be a consultant with the Bob Proctor Institute, right? So the fact that you wrote that, I knew that you had understood it.
Yes.
Yes.
And you're actually the first one to be certified in this country.
Yes, I am. I'm very humble.
Drum rolls. Yes. Tell people who Bob Proctor is, because I think they need to know who this giant of a man is.
Yes, so Bob Proctor is, he's a man that comes from the times of the World War II. And, he underwent a lot of, poverty cycles in his life. I mean, everybody now knows Bob Proctor as somebody who's already a legend, as you said, is legendary, right?
Yes.
But the question is, where did he come from? I think that's important for us to understand, because he also came from a very humble background.
Yes.
And, he was somebody who didn't have any business experience, no education, no money to feed himself. So he was constantly borrowing money from people.
Yeah.
And because of that reason, he was very unhappy. He'd always be sick, he'd always be disgruntled.
Yeah.
Now, imagine somebody like that, who is in that kind of cycle. Nothing ever changes for you, because, the more of what you do is the more of what happens to you, right?
Yes.
So one day he met this man, called Raymond. He was called Raymond Stanford, I think. And he just gave him the book Think and Grow Rich. And after that, Bob Proctor's life just started changing.
Yes.
But it took him 9 years to discover what happened to him. And because of what he did, and because of, all the research that Bob Proctor did and all the work that he did, today is where I can say I am because of that. So there's a lot of things that happened in between.
Of course.
But it's a long journey,
Yes.
All the work that he did, all the research he did, everything that he wanted to put out in the world because it changed his life so much.
Yeah.
He got out of debt. He could make millions of dollars. But, you know, he said he wanted to share this with the world.
Yes.
And that is why he has people like us globally, you know, that can now serve others.
Yes,
Yes.
you have multiplied his seed, so you
Absolutely.
and many others globally. So that book, Think and Grow Rich, is the one by Napoleon Hill, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So if you're a reader, even if you're not, just go to YouTube or Amazon and click on these teachers. Bob Proctor, when I say legend, is legend, because when I started my own journey, I was introduced to, Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, you know, Abraham Hicks, Wayne Dyer, Napoleon Hill. Yes, so it's teachers on the same frequency of knowledge. And I love especially with Bob, because whereas I learned about the law of attraction, when we met, you said you are aware that before the law of attraction, there's a law of vibration.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So extenuate that for us.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. I was hoping to talk about that.
Okay.
So, you know, a lot of people have read The Secret, and, you know, they feel like after I read a book, the law of attraction is just going to start working for me. Well, it's the law of vibration that actually precedes the law of attraction. So, you know, you might try to attract something, but if you're not in the right vibration, and what does being in the right vibration mean? It means being in the feeling of something. And I believe, Catherine, this is something you're absolutely familiar with,
Yeah.
and you have experienced this yourself. So, you know, everything starts with your thought, right?
Yes.
Now, whatever thought you decide to entertain, you know, it creates a feeling, it creates an emotion in your second part of the mind called
Yes.
the subconscious mind. So your
Yes.
thought comes from your conscious mind. So you can decide whether you want to accept or reject the idea. So whatever you accept, it goes into your subconscious mind and it creates a feeling. As soon as you get into that particular feeling, right, that's when you start vibrating, and
Yes.
that's what attracts whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yes.
So I just want to go a step ahead and say
Yeah,
that
sure.
for those of you, you know, who are in a loop of stress, you know, who feel like you are in a rat race, you know, if you think you're in a rat race and, you know, life is just happening to you, the truth is that you can change the way you feel, you can change the way you think, and you can make life happen for you, you know. It doesn't have to happen to you, it can happen for you. So you can take charge of your life. And that's exactly how the law of attraction works. So you get into the right vibration and you
Yes.
start attracting what it is that
Yes.
you are looking for.
Yes.
Yes.
And I like something you said there, which is super important. The thoughts that you think. So, you know, half the time people tell you, think positive, be this, be that, which is great. It's difficult, but it's really important if you're to master what you're having a conversation about here, because you can, what she said is you can choose to accept or reject the thought. It has to be a habit, isn't it?
Absolutely. And yeah, again, thank you for bringing that up. So we are very confused with our thinking. You know, our thinking is not disciplined. We are in a state of confusion.
Yeah.
Now, we have millions of thoughts in a day. So we think we are busy,
Yeah.
you know, because we have so many things that we are thinking about. But the question is, where are your thoughts really directed? You know, when your thoughts are not disciplined, you know, when they lack direction, and when you're in a state of confusion, you'll only get confused results. There's so many people who get the same results year in, year out, and they wonder, I'm reading so many books, I'm watching so many YouTube videos, you know, I'm talking to so many people,
Yeah.
I listen to so many audios. But why is it that your results never change?
Yeah.
It's because your thoughts do not have direction. They lack discipline.
Yes.
They are not directed towards your goal. I'd just like to mention something about goals. People don't even know how to set goals. You know, your goal is something that you really want. It's not something that you think you can get. You know, try and remember a time when you were a child and you told your parents, you know, that mommy, daddy, I want this particular thing. And they said, but how are you going to get it? So, you know, that just limited your thinking. And you are like, okay, so let me go for what I think I can get or what I know I can get.
Right.
So, you know, being a Proctor Gallagher consultant, I teach people how to set goals based on what they really want. You know, always ask yourself this question. What it is that you really want?
Yeah.
You know, it's not about what you can get or what you think you can get. What do you really, really want?
Yeah.
And you tend to ignore that, you know, because your conditioning doesn't allow you to think beyond a certain level.
Yes.
So first establish what it is that you really want, and then start disciplining your thoughts in that direction.
You're right.
You know, don't just, you know, we want something, but we
Yeah.
ask for another.
Yeah, or you
That's
think,
exactly
oh, I
what
can't get that,
happens.
that's for others. That's for
Absolutely.
them.
Yes.
But something my coach taught me, in fact, like I was saying to you, so my first lesson with him, he said to me, what do you want? And I'm like, if I told him what I want, he would be like, me thinking, he'd be like, hey, okay. But no. So I said to him, give me time. When we meet next, perhaps I can write it down. Because he said, the person who limits you from getting what you want is you. You can get anything. And that totally opened my mind to what? Like, he said, nothing is out of reach. So people just limit themselves because it's exactly what you've said, conditioning. So you grew up knowing, or your parents just said, oh, those are for only certain classes of people live there. We can't go to this hotel. So when I sit and I say, I've always dreamt of having, say, an airline, if at all that's my passion, but then it feels like it is so out of reach. And you're saying it shouldn't, because it is a desire that can come to pass.
Absolutely. What you want comes from your spirit. You would not want it unless you are meant to have it.
There you go.
You want it because it's your spirit speaking and saying that this is what I want. And guess what? Because you want it, you can definitely have it.
Yeah.
Because it would not have come unless you are meant to, and you are able to, and you are willing to get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine that. When I learned
Yes.
that, it changed my life.
Absolutely.
But now the challenge came, something else you said. Look at me. We have gone straight into it, and we'll establish who she is, by the way, where she grew up and all of that. She's purely Kenyan who can speak Swahili. We'll come there. So you have established what you want. Then you also said something else, that the blockage comes with our conditioning and the thoughts we put towards it. Because unless, and I struggled with it, and I can share that easily, because I'll be like, okay, it's what we want. So I want to work for this organization at this position, and I believe that, all right? It's still a belief. But then the thoughts that would haunt me, depending on who colonized you, it would just be like, one day I'm feeling, yeah, I was made for this. If it's in my spirit, it means it's mine. The next day I'm like, what on earth am I thinking that I want to work in that position? I need to have this degree, I need to have this, I need to have this. So, you know, that back and forth where you capture thoughts, you release thoughts. How do you teach people to overcome that stage?
So that's habit forming. Now, before we even form habits, you know, it's very important to understand the background of where everything is coming from. We're always worried about what people say, what they think of us. So the first message that I'd like to give this audience is that stop worrying about what anybody thinks of you. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you think of yourself. That's the only thing that matters. You know, we hide behind what people say, what people want to do.
Yeah.
Why do you have those kind of thoughts that you just described? It's because, you know, your paradigm, which is a multitude of ideas that you have that have given you specific habits over the years, make you behave in a certain way. So your paradigm comes in and gives you all that inner self-talk that doesn't serve you. My boss has a bigger goal, so let me just follow what his goal is and forget about my own goal. He's doing this. Who am I to say that I can do something bigger than him?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that your boss is a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. But your goal is specific to you. You must go after what it is that you want.
Yeah.
So what do? Because somebody has been validated. They have something, we think they're doing something better than us.
Yeah.
So we just tend to hide behind their goals, and we give ourselves all the reasons, all the excuses, all the alibis, and guess what? That's not you, that's your paradigm. Because your paradigm wants you to stay where you are.
Yes.
That's the work of your paradigm.
Yes.
If you want to grow in life, you must build that. You must overcome that paradigm and build a new paradigm.
Yes.
So that it can support your goals.
Yes.
Right? And again, I'm going to reiterate this. Stop worrying about what people think of you. That is the biggest barrier that we have.
Yeah.
So now to your next question. As a Procter Gallagher Institute consultant, I teach people how to shift those paradigms.
Yes.
And a big part of your paradigm is your self-image. The concept of yourself is something that's the biggest killer factor ever.
Yes.
You know, I am not enough.
Yes.
What will people say? Can I really do this? Oh no, but if I do this, you know, how are people going to react? You know, will they receive it?
Yeah.
You know, self-doubt, self-fears, worries, anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? All that just kills you. I'll give you a very good example.
Sure.
You know, when you invited me, you know, when I approached you, the first thought I actually had was, but Catherine is such a, you know, prominent person. Will she reply to me? And you actually did. See? So that was my self-image talking to me, right?
Yes.
And that's exactly what happens to everybody.
Yes.
So these are the shifts that I help people to drive in their life, because the truth is you can never outperform your self-image. You can only change it.
That is true. And the self-image is that talk. Who are you saying you are? So if you're feeling defeated, again, so I'm hoping you're tying this up. So there's what you're thinking. There's the feeling that those thoughts are, you know, emanating inside of you, which is what releases that frequency, that vibration, and attracts whatever it is you're feeling. So if it's joy, if it's contentment, if it's fulfillment, if you're just happy, or that belief that whatever it is you desire is yours and it is done, and you sit and settle there. And then what she's spoken to is paradigm. So we all have paradigms which are drawn from self-concept, self-image, the inner talk you have. I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not this. So we are always striving to do something. We're always striving to be. And most times you find it is cultured by other people, you know, other people's conditioning. So what she's saying she does or helps you do is shift. And so she even did this. So it's an elevation from moving from a certain level to a level where you're saying, you know what, I look good, and I know I can look better if I lost 2 kgs. Or I look good as I am now, and I know I'll look better if I added, in my case, 6 kgs. Told you, I'm on a weight gain mission. But it doesn't mean I stand in the mirror every day. Yet, though before I got here, I used to do that. I'll be like, gosh, Catherine, man, I mean, I'm eating everything. So I got into that pity party, you know, feel unworthy state. I'm eating everything. I'm not even adding weight. Even if I exercise, and then I capture it the next day. I'm like, Catherine, you really still look good. And you even look better when you add the 6 kgs. And I release that. And so I've been on that, you know, on that. And I think that's what you're talking about, just shifting the image you have of you, correct?
Absolutely. So your image comes from inside of you.
Yeah.
So the way you look, your body weight has nothing to do with how much you can achieve. You know, it's about, yes, you can change it externally. I'm not saying that, no, don't put on weight. If you'd like to, yes, you can, but it is definitely not a hindrance to you becoming successful.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
No.
In fact, I'll speak about one of my colleagues,
Yes.
you know, she's in Canada, and her name is Kathleen Cameron, and I follow her because she really inspires me. So she had a weight problem, you know, so she felt that she used to be overweight, and she used to think that successful women are skinny. Only skinny women become successful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was her perception until now she became a Procter Gallagher Institute consultant, and she started teaching, thinking into results that taught her that how you look externally has nothing to do with what you can achieve.
Yeah.
So as we speak, she makes $20 million annually now. This year she made $20 million. And now she empowers women. And I am so inspired by that because personally I had, you know, self-image issues around my height. You know, one of my best friends calls me Shorty, actually, as we speak. And, you know, I always thought that if I need to be successful, if I need to be seen, I need to be of a certain height. I always imagined, you know, the 5-6 for some reason. 5-6 came into my mind. I think looking at models around and all, I'm not sure where that came from, but yeah, I always thought so. And then over time I realized it has nothing to do with that. It's your self-image is built from within you. You know, it's exactly what you tell yourself, how you feel about yourself, what you think of yourself, right? So start working from inside out. And that's how the results come. But it needs persistence and consistency. Please don't be fooled that you watch one video one day.
It's not
you
overnight.
just, you read a book, you know, you listen to some audios, you know, people just love YouTube. Yes, it is very helpful, but real change comes with a lot of work, consistency and persistence, and the willing and ability to do it. And when Bob Proctor says, are you willing and able, he doesn't mean just taking the action in terms of, you know, let's say if you're a person who wants to improve your sales by 100%, it just doesn't mean implementing the strategy. It means directing your thoughts. It means structuring and disciplining your thoughts. That's what he means. Are you willing and able to do that? Are you really willing to work on your thought patterns? Because that is where everything starts from. It's true. Because success is 95% mindset and only 5% strategy. Why is it that you're working so hard but you're not getting the results that you want? Because your thoughts are haywire and you have no control over them. But you think you do by engaging in material, you know, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But everybody is a victim of their environment, of their circumstances.
In fact, those books say, if I see your life now, I'll know what you've been thinking about, because
you got it.
The thoughts materialize. That's what your life is, so I can tell what you've been thinking about. And just to clarify, I was just giving the example with my weight, with the outer, to show the difference with how I had to reframe my thinking into you don't look good, you're not good enough, to you are okay. So I gave myself grace. I had to change. We'll come to that, scripting. You'll come to scripting. That is very deep. I mean, really, I can only give credit to my coach who set me on this journey. You know who you are, and I totally adore you. And you know, he set me on this journey, and it's where you have to speak different things from what you have been speaking before, and becoming aware of your thoughts as opposed to what you said before, being careless about it. So thinking into results. You don't just wake up. Like for me, in wanting to have a coach in my life, is because I'd gotten to a point where I felt everything is at the same level, everything is the same, nothing is moving. I need for my life to start to rise. I need to see differences in certain aspects of my life. I need to be able to say, oh, that happened, that happened. I need a coach, you know, where this coach is found. And I found one actually through this program. And one session, just one session, and he mentioned that one author. And you know how you go looking for one author and then they all come, and then I start to listen to one, and based on who your spirit is resonating with, you keep listening. But like you said, you can watch 100 videos and then you have information overload, but at the end of the day, you have to put in the work. So what was the point for you? What was the tipping point for you where you said, there has to be more to life than what I'm living now?
Absolutely. So, you know, I used to be in the corporate world, and I worked in the corporate world for over 15 years, and I just kept jumping jobs, you know. I was very dissatisfied. I thought I wanted to climb the corporate ladder because I think most of the graduates, you know, globally, not just in Kenya, that's their dream, to climb the corporate ladder. And that's the dream that I set out with, because, you know, as a child, I was always wired with the fact that money is hard to earn. You have to work really long hours to earn money. You know, it's hard to you know, it's hard out there. I think we all heard that at some point, right? So the whole lack and limitation thing, right? So
rat race.
Yes, absolutely. And I was very excited when I began my journey. I mean, I still remember, you know, I worked at a local bank, which has now really expanded, obviously. And I was very excited. I was very driven. And from there, you know, I stood out to look for new opportunities, because I was never the kind of person who'd like to settle for less. only at the end of 15 years to realize that, oh my God, you know, this is not what I really want. So all along, I thought there was something wrong with all those companies. Now, how can that be?
You know, I mean,
yeah, it can't be because there are other people who are still working and they're very happy. So it just made me realize that all along the problem was with me, you know. Not that it's a bad problem. I think it was a good problem to solve because it set me out on my path.
Yeah.
Now, while I was in the corporate world, you know, in between I took a few breaks and I would engage with a lot of. So The Secret was actually the first book that I read.
Okay.
So that was in 2014, way back. And that's when I realized that I'd love to help people. But I just couldn't point my finger to, you know, how exactly I'd like to do it because I did see myself as a coach, but I didn't know, you know, what kind of program would I have, how would I implement it, no idea around that. So I just kept working, you know, in the corporate world, again, jumping jobs, you know, being unhappy, thinking there's something really, really wrong with all these people, and, you know. And in 2021, I must say that I got into this whole abundance vibe, you know. I just started getting this whole, it was actually, I quite now remember, it was March 2021 exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and all of a sudden I felt like there's some kind of abundance that's coming to me. You know, I just started feeling that way. Yeah, like, you know, I was in my small apartment and I just knew something was changing. And coincidentally, I came across Bob Proctor's 5-day program in July 2021. And on the 4th day, you know, Bob Proctor always taught about decision making.
Yeah.
So any decision that you make should be made from your intuition, and that's within 30 seconds. And I made a decision that I want to become a Proctor Gallagher Institute consultant just there and then. I was in front of my laptop in my room, in my little room, and I had no idea where the money would come from. I had no idea. But I knew it from my soul because I was shaking, you know. At some point, I think I was shivering and I was sweating at the same time. I was, you know,
all the signs.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew it, that this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because I saw the impact that other Proctor Gallagher Institute consultants are making across the globe. And I was like, I want to be this and I can do this. I just knew at that point. And I just made that decision. And from there, I just swam into the material. You know, I just started implementing. Now, you spoke about gathering information at some point.
Yes.
If it was somebody else, they might have decided, okay, I know all this information and things are just going to happen.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's not how it works. You actually have to implement that information.
Yes.
Carry out the practices that are recommended, you know, things like gratitude, do your visualization meditations. These are things that sound like they're really cliche and everybody talks about them.
Actually, you know what I want us to do? You
Yes.
will actually break each one of them down.
Sure.
As brief as you can.
Yes.
When we come back from the break, I'm hoping you're feeling this vibe here because, man, we're on another plane altogether. But don't go too far. I'm back with this success enabler, Miss Shalini Gadhia, right after the break. Welcome back to the program. This is What's Your Story? I'm Catherine Mwangi. I'm here with Success Enabler, the first consultant from the Proctor Gallagher Institute. That is an institute founded by Bob Proctor and Sandra Gallagher.
Yes.
Yes? So before the break, she was speaking to the work that we have to do or the work that you have to put in. And make no mistake, we said it's not easy. It's not an overnight thing where today, now from tomorrow, I'm starting to think positive. Let me tell you, when you decide that, tomorrow everything will happen to make sure that nothing positive is happening here. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. And I feel like those things come as tests to test whether we have that, what do you call it, fortitude to remember that I'm supposed to be a positive thinker. So break each stage for us, or each element.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So first I'd like to talk about, you know, how you said that when you decide to think positive, just the opposite happens. So that's something called the law of polarity. So the law of polarity means that every positive has an equal negative And that's exactly why it happens. So yes, it's up to us to direct our thinking towards what we want to achieve.
Okay.
So that is where the discipline comes. So all the tactics that you just mentioned needs a lot of discipline.
Yes.
So it's all tied in, because as soon as you get into that journey, your paradigm hits immediately, because it's the work of your paradigm to keep you where you are currently. And that's exactly what it does. It brings in all these excuses, all these reasons, oh, today I can't wake up and do my meditation, I slept too late, or I need to just sleep in just one more day, and then it continues, right?
Yes.
So maybe I can just speak a bit about my morning routine.
That would be great.
Yes. So, I'm a person who loves to balance my physical and mental health. It's not just all mental health, right?
Yeah.
But at a physical level, you've got to take care of yourself as well. So, I love to wake up by 5 in the morning. So I started doing that after I became a consultant.
Of course.
Because
they all wake up at 4, 4:30,
yes.
5.
So I just like to make it clear for the audience that no, it's not a must for you to wake up at 4 or 5. It's a personal choice.
Yeah.
You can still do the work at other hours. No, you do not have to, because I know very clearly that there are a lot of people who do not resonate. I have clients who do not resonate with waking up at 5 a.m.
Okay.
And it is completely okay.
Okay.
Please do what suits you, because you want to be working and doing these things when your mind is at its optimum. You do not want to be dying of sleep there, and you cannot get anything in. No, it absolutely does not work. So
it's a good one.
yeah, I like to study for 1 hour in the morning. And when I say study, I mean mindset. So I just like to mention that the one book that has had a very big impact on me is called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. That is the book I should say I really studied, and that is the one that helped me really drive this whole self-image shift. And I believe I'm still working on it, because I'm still shifting to the next level, right? So when I say studying, it's not just reading a book.
Yeah.
What does studying really mean? It means going back and forth with the information. If there is a paragraph or a chapter or a page that really resonated with me, I would go back again and again, and I would internalize the information, and I would apply it immediately. That is what studying means.
So give me an example.
Yeah. So one concept that I really love from that book was the what if concept.
What if?
We always have a tendency to say, what if there's so much traffic today? What if I get late? What if my boss tells me off today? What if he's angry? Just switch that. What if I have the best day today? What if everything just goes the way I like? So I used that when I came for this.
Oh.
Yes. What if I have the best time in this interview? And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? So that's something that really shifted things for me in a day.
Right.
I just read it, and the same day I implemented it.
Yes.
Yeah, and the first thing I like to do is to share it, with the people around me. So I live with my sister, and I straight away shared it with her, and she also just started using it.
Actually, people should know, I knew your sister before you again through Mom Boss on Facebook. I needed something from I don't know which country, and she does that.
Yes.
So imagine just how everything is connected.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's weird.
It's amazing.
So, yeah, anyway,
I think it's how the laws of universe work.
Right?
I think we were meant to meet, but not at that time, later on.
And now this time, and then
Absolutely.
your Saloni sister. Anyway.
Absolutely. So I talked about studying, and the next thing I would do is my exercises,
Okay.
So
like physical.
Yeah, physical. Yes, absolutely. So I'm into all these cardio exercises.
Okay.
So there was a time I had put on a lot of weight, and for health reasons, not about the way I was looking. No,
Right.
it was for health reasons that I really had to burn a lot of fat. So I do these fat burning exercises. That takes about 20 to 30 minutes, not more, and then I'll do my affirmations. I take my shower, then do my affirmations. Now, when I say affirmations, there are different ways of doing affirmations. I used to really resonate with mirror work. Not everybody resonates with mirror work, but I'd like to point out that the first time you try to do mirror work, even the second, third, fourth time, your paradigm is going to try and make you not do it, because we are usually shy at looking at ourselves in the eye in front of the mirror.
Yes,
I believe you resonate with
yes,
this. Yes. So, you've just got to overcome that. Just do it. That's what I teach my clients. You just got to do it. But after a month, if you feel like you still can't do it,
Yeah.
you know, now that comes to scripting. You can still have, you know, an audio recording of yourself with all those affirmations recorded out, and you can keep listening to it, you know, repeatedly.
So give us an example of an affirmation using mirror work.
Yeah, so, you know, it's anything you want to be, and speak it in the present.
Yes.
You know, I am. I am is actually the magic word, because you are a creator. So I am healthy, I am confident, I am vibrant, I am happy, you know, something like I'm a millionaire.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you're looking to make more money,
Yeah.
right? You know, something like I'm a 7-figure earner in US dollars, you know, if that's your dream.
Yes.
And with time, you will get ideas on how to go about it,
Yes.
how to become that 7-figure earner, how to become more confident, you know, because again, we spoke about, you know, the law of vibration.
Yes.
Because the affirmations get you into that energy space, into that vibration, and you start attracting the ideas, you know, that you need in order to become that person.
Yes. So go to scripting.
Yes. So when we talk about scripting, you know, it can be done in different ways. So scripting can be either a written script, you know, you can do that multiple times in a day. So the idea behind scripting is just to create a movie of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you see yourself living? Now, it sounds very surreal, but whatever image you form in your mind must come into reality. Of course, you know that.
Well, now I know. Yeah.
Yes. So one option is to, you know, write it down every day. Your script can be as long as you like, but if you're a person who doesn't like to write too much,
Yeah.
you know, not a very long script,
Yeah.
at least get the basics right, you know, about how you'd see yourself living in the next 6 months or 1 year.
Yes.
And the idea behind scripting is not just to write it for the sake of writing, it's about getting into the feeling as you're writing. Feeling is the secret, as Neville Goddard
Feeling is
puts
the
it.
secret. Yeah.
Absolutely, right. That's one way you could do it. The
Yeah.
other way is to just do a recording of an audio. Do an audio recording in your own voice and listen to it multiple times a day. I find that easier.
Okay.
Yeah, just put your earphones on and keep listening to it, because the idea here is to reprogram your subconscious mind.
Subconscious.
Your
yes.
paradigm.
Yes.
You know, it's to create a new paradigm. So you can never get rid of your paradigm.
Yeah.
And not all paradigms are bad.
Yeah.
But the idea here is to shift that paradigm that does not work for
Yep.
you. So how do you shift it with the right words that are fed into it
Yes.
with repetition?
Yes.
So that's another thing that I used to do. And the last thing I'd like to mention is visualization.
Oh, I love that one.
Yes. I think you've been a product of that. Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, visualization is something that has really, really worked for me. Again, as you visualize, get into the feeling, get
Yep.
into the state, you know.
Yeah.
Create that image in your mind, you know, as you sit in silence. Sit in a space where you're comfortable,
Yes.
that resonates with your soul,
Yes.
not in a noisy environment, somewhere you'll not be disturbed. You know, really get into the mood of how do you see yourself living in the next 6 months to 1 year. Think of all the images in detail.
Yeah.
That's the key around, you know, visualization, the
Visualization.
imagination that you use.
Yes.
Your imagination is so powerful. What do? We use it to imagine the worst case
The
scenario.
worst. We were talking about that. Like
Absolutely.
human beings just somehow just gravitate to the negative, to the worst. And we never
fault.
see like, actually there's the best. The polarity, now you taught me something today, the law of polarity, like for any bad thought you're thinking, there is a beautiful, glorious thought on the other side of that. And that's what we're just saying in simple terms. So shift, just get out of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that. I love how you said, you know, when there's a negative, shift to the positive. So yes, you can use the law of polarity to favor yourself by shifting from the negative
Yeah.
to the positive.
Yeah.
So we were talking about imagination.
Yes.
Now, I'd just like to talk a bit about imagination, you know. It's not just about imagining. How much do you really focus on that imagination?
The details of it.
Yes, because it's very easy for us to just say, yeah, you know, I live in this maybe 5-bedroom mansion, I live in XX country, you know, by the beach. You know, people always have a dream of living on beachfront properties.
Yeah.
that's a
Not
very-
me.
Oh, not you? All right.
I ain't a Capricorn. I'm an air sign.
I love that. Would you like to live on air? I love that.
See, I'm
goal.
even talking science, man. I mean, I never used to have this language, but anyway.
Yeah, so The idea is to really get the details of the picture, the image, right, and focus, put all your attention on that particular image. Because imagining as a one-off and putting your focus on it are two very different things. It's very easy to just imagine one thing in a jiffy and then forget about it. But the question, or rather the point here is, how much can you really focus on it? That's very, very important. So once you have your focus, get into the feeling. How does it make you feel? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you content? Are you relieved? It can be anything. The exact feeling once you're already in that picture, right? And the last thing is belief. Yes, that is the thing that gets most people.
Yes, that is the.
Yes, because imagining, you can get pictures of the internet. You can say, okay, let me Google the kind of house I'd like to live in. Let me put my focus and attention on it.
You can put that on your vision board even.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can also get into the feeling, right? Because now you have all those nice pictures, you know what it feels like. Belief is where, where it gets everybody. Because, we only believe in things that we can see. We don't have faith in the unknown. But again, think about all the miracles that happen in our daily lives. Doesn't that need faith? So why can't we have faith in what it is that we really want?
Intentionally want.
Absolutely.
What do you want? Believe you can have it. Then it is done. It is done. And all the pointers we have said in between the shows, you just believe in yourself. Like, don't wait for your wife or your spouse or your child or your boss to be the one who says they believe in you. They have nothing to do with it. Everything is so personal and internal that it starts and it ends with you. So people watching you, Shalini, and they want you to coach them this new year, 2023. The year has started. It was intentional on our part to bring conversations like this so that at least you have a good head start in the year and you know what needs, where you want your life to go. Like she said, all these things are in your spirit, and it's just evidence that if it's in there, it means you deserve to have it. So if they're watching, and I want you to look there, and they want to reach out to you and they want your help, how can they?
Absolutely. I'm here. So you can find me on Facebook, Shalini Gadia. I have a website, www.shalinigadia.com. Shalini is easy to spell. Gadia is Gadhia. I think a lot of people miss the H and the D sometimes. I'm on LinkedIn, Shalini Gadia again. Instagram, Shalini_GD, if that helps. Or simply just Google me and I think something will come up. But yeah, best to go to my website. And yes, I look forward to, changing a lot of lives. This is why I am here. That's my desire. That's what my spirit says I should do. Help people, change their lives, be happy, be fulfilled. And, our lives, are not here just to, we strive for money, we strive for material needs, but what I'd like everyone to know here is that our goals are here for us to grow, not so much to get, but to grow. So, we hear all these people, everybody talking about setting goals, achieving goals, but your spirit calls for growth, and that is why you have a goal. Don't shy away from the goal that you desire. We tend to have a money taboo. I think it's very common in many cultures. But if your soul, your spirit is asking you to achieve a certain amount, of money, to get that certain amount of money, to work towards it, go for it. It's because it's calling for that growth. It's not that, money is an effect, right? But your growth is the cause. The cause is your growth, and money will just come in as you start growing. So go for it.
It's what you said earlier. I have a different framing for it. If you want men to have it, you wouldn't have it bothering you in your spirit. So if it's calling, and something else Neville says, and maybe it's a question people have. I actually had it, and then I saw it in his one of his books. I can't remember which one. I read many at the same time. And he said, it also works for people with bad intentions. But then he also warns and says, you have to do unto others what you expect or want to be done to you. So if you use the same techniques where you're imagining ill will on another, and yes, it may happen, but it will come back to you. Somehow it just comes back to you. So don't be there thinking, okay, so now I can manifest, I don't know, my neighbor or this debt collector or whatever. Neville, he says it, in fact, he calls it the golden rule, which is what it is. So why would you even want to wish ill will to another? Let's start with that. You know, one of the things you have to do or be is be careful not to carry offense and to guard your heart and to just cleanse all of those energies outside of you, because you're a pure being, you know, you're pure. So yes, it will work both ways, but I promise you, you will reap it. In fact, double what it is you sent out to whoever. Yeah. So people have to be cautious with that.
Absolutely. You know, Bob Proctor talks about it in the law of receiving. If you want to receive something, you must give it out first. So just what you said, now people unintentionally give out bad vibes, right? Because you have a qualm against somebody, you're resentful, you're angry at somebody. But guess what? The news here is, as Catherine just said, when you give it out, you get it back in return.
Yeah.
So it's the same for good. So if you want good, give out good and you get good in return. So it applies either way.
Yeah.
So the universe does not understand what's good and what's bad. It's up to you to decide what it is that you want to receive, so you can give out accordingly. But remember, giving is first, getting is second.
I hear you. What a conversation, man. Final words. We are winding up.
Well,
I know time does fly, doesn't it?
Yes, make 2023 your best year. That is what I'll tell everybody. Go for what it is that you want. It's your calling. Don't settle. Time does not wait for anybody. Go for it. And I'm here to help you. I'm very, very excited. You know, if you can seek help from anybody that you want, but if you'd like to seek help from me, I'm here. And I'd be very excited, very humbled if you chose me to be on your journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should go to schools and colleges and
Yes.
we affirm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am. That's part of my plan. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Because I believe I'm actually even developing something for the mass market, because I believe that's something they really need. You know, this is knowledge that they really, really need, because they are struggling in their day to day. So, you know, how can they benefit from this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. And I am so grateful we connected as we
Yes.
did, and we've had this conversation. But then this conversation can't end. Let me tell you, right? Like even to this day, you learn more. We fall back. You start again. I used to have issues when I would renege on something, like, no, why would you even think that? I mean, you know better. You've had 6 months of, you know, where you beat yourself, but it's all part of the journey, isn't it?
It is. It is. And what I'd also like to, you know, tell people is that it's a forever journey. It's a lifetime journey. So as much as, you know, what I teach, thinking to results, is it has been programmed in such a way that it goes on for 6 months, but it has been designed in a way that you can use it for your lifetime. So I met somebody on Facebook again. You know, she's from Germany, and she writes to me randomly. She's like, you know, I've been using Thinking to Results for the last 5 years. I was like, wow, you know, I mean, I've never met anybody who's used it for 5 years. Not a client especially, you know, not somebody on the receiving end. Consultants, yes, we study it continuously because we want to get better. But somebody who bought it, you know, who did it with a consultant, you know, in Germany, and she's like, the principles are amazing. She's like, to date, I'm using this. So, you know, this is a lifetime, you know, it's a lifetime thing that you need to be going with. And your growth is constant. You're ever evolving. So don't think that just by, you know, doing one program, you know, watching a few videos, you've hit it. No, you have not, because your spirit is meant for everlasting growth. So keep growing, you know, keep evolving.
Yes. I love, love, love it. Your spirit is meant for everlasting growth.
Absolutely.
Ooh, that's a good way to close the show. Thank you so much for coming, Shalini.
Thank you for having me, Catherine. My pleasure.
Welcome. And thank you for watching. You need her help. She's on Facebook, Shalini Gadia, LinkedIn, the same name. If you just go to Facebook, it's easier. For those who are not on Facebook, her website is
shalinigadia.com.
So her name's .com. Shalini, there you are saying SHALINIGADHIA.com. And you get info there. And my wish for you is that this is the year that you see the things you've been desiring come to pass. At least even if it's 30% of those things. Just try this out. Been trying it myself since last year, May, and I have testimonies upon testimonies to share, and it's still a journey. And I'm just grateful that you get to also partake of this and participate should you wish to. Until next week, take care of yourselves and goodbye.